Welcome to GeoTech Quick Fix. In this video, I will be showing you how to create shapefile in QGIS. Let me give you a brief introduction of what shapefile represents. Shapefile is a vector data format for storing geometric location and attributes of spatial features. It was developed by S3 and it's now widely used because it is interpretable. At the end of this video, you will be able to create shapefile in QGIS to store geometric location and attribute of spatial features, and have idea of how it can be used to perform GIS operations and analysis to derive meaningful information. Let's begin by going to the QGIS interface and proceed with shapefile creation. If you look at the toolbar, you'll see different symbols. Now, to start creating shapefile, you click the new shapefile symbol here. A dialog box will come out where you fill in the necessary properties of the shapefile you're creating. Now, starting with the file name here, first thing to do is to click these three dots where you'll be able to create your working folder. If you don't have one already existing, you can create it here. Let's assume you want to create a working folder here. You click the directory you want, then click a new folder and write the name as the feature class that you want to create. You write it here since you're already in the folder you have created. So let's say we want to start with road. Now click save. So the next one is the file encoding. You can leave it the way it is. Here you have the geometry type. As you know, vector data can be represented in three forms, which could be line, polygon, and points. Road is a line feature, then we'll select line. Then here the additional dimensions, you can leave it the way it is. So here you have the coordinate reference system, which you have to set. Right now it's in default, which is the WGIS 4. Or if you want to choose a reference system of your choice or of your location, you can click this symbol, then you can select or you type the coordinate reference system, which could be geographic coordinate reference system or projected coordinate reference system. So you can type in the coordinate reference system of your area of project. Assuming we want to use a projected reference system. So let's say we are still using WGIS for projected coordinate reference system. By the time you're typing, it will bring out the projected reference system that is available. So you can select any one of your location, then you say OK. Another way around is to use the ESPG code. For WGIS 4, the ESPG code is 43226. Then by the time you type the ESPG code to bring out the corresponding coordinate reference system, then you click and say OK. So that's how to set the coordinate reference system, which is very important in GIS projects to ensure the feature aligns properly with the relative position on the edge surface. Now, next thing is to add the attributes. So, attributes that you can derive from roads are, let's just choose two. You can say you have the road name, the road, and you click from the length, which is the number of characters of the text you are typing. You can see, you can put, let's say 50. So for the type, the type of the input data you are putting in the road name, it's text. But in a situation whereby you have other input data, you are creating other input data which is a number, you select either whole number or decimal number. If it's dates that you are putting as input data for your attributes, you put date. So for road name, it's text. So we're selecting text, and the length we use 50. Then when we are done with that, satisfied with the other information we have provided for the properties of the shapefile, click add to field. Then we can go to the next one and to the next attribute. Let's say we are adding length of the road. Then in this case, input data is going to be numeric input. Then we can select decimal number or whole number. So in this case, let's select decimal number. Then for the length of the numbers, we can just put 6. So precision represents the number of decimal places we're putting. So we just say 3. So this is add field. So for road, we have created 2 attributes. So now OK to complete. Now we can see road has been added to our layer panel, which shows that the shapefile has been created for road feature. So next thing, let's create a shapefile for polygon feature. So repeat the same process by going to the new shapefile tool here. We'll click same process. We go to the folder we've created. Let's keep giving all the folder right here. Then we'll type the polygon feature we want to create. Let's say building. Quick save done. The geometry type, it's polygon. Building is polygon. It's area feature. So we click polygon. Then in the coordinate reference system, we have gone through how to set the coordinate reference system. So we can just leave it the way it is, because all the shapefile we're creating are supposed to be in uniform coordinate system to avoid any form of distortion or anomalies that may arise from not using the same coordinate system for our project. To add attributes for your building, now let's say owner as one of the attributes. So the input data is definitely going to be text, so we'll leave it as text here. The character, you can leave it as 80 or let's change it to 60. So when we are done with that, we add field. Now let's add another attribute, area of the building. So here the input data is going to be a numeric data. So let's choose decimal number. So for the length, we choose 6 as well, and give it as 3, precision to be 3. So when we're done with that, click add field. We'll go through the properties that were pleased. Click OK. So now building has been added to our layer panel, which means the shapefile has been created. So the same way, let's go create a point shapefile for point feature. The same way, we go to the new shapefile, quick, go to the new folder, working folder we created. Then we type point feature, which will be, let's say, 3. Save. Then the geometry type 3, we are showing it's going to be a point data. Then we'll leave the coordinate reference system the way it is. QGIS is 4. Then the attributes of the tree, let's say we're adding the name of the tree. Definitely the name of the tree is going to be a text data, so we're leaving it as text. So the length, just leave it as 70. So we're done with that. Quick add to field. You can add another attribute of the tree height. we're having a numeric data, then we click add to field. We just click OK. Now our point feature will be added. Here now we have 3 vector data type, which is point, polygon, and line, which consists of feature class that is made up of 3 building and road. Now that we have the features, if you open the attributes, you will see there's no data in it. Now to store the data in this shapefile we created, it's either we derive data from satellite imagery or the data obtained from field observation. So in this case, we're using a satellite imagery, which is displayed here. As we have the satellite imagery here, which is a raster, now transforming it to vector formats, we will have to vectorize each feature we have here. So for tree, we have to find a tree here that we can use as a point feature. So now to start, we'll just go to the toolbar and navigate to the toggle editing tool. So by the time we click, a point symbol will be shown here. So we'll click add point feature. So go to the window view, and try and locate where you have tree. So we just click. Now it will bring out attributes of that tree that we have already created. So now it's asking for the name. So let's say mahogany. Now we're trying to add geometric position attributes to the shapefile we created. So for height, 10 in meters. So okay, the tree has been created. Same way we can do the same thing for the trees that we have here. Now if we're done, go to the tool, we'll see the symbol where we save. We'll click save. That means we are done with creating that. So we can click the toggle editing once again to go out of the toggle editing mode for the tree. So next, go to the building, select building from the layer panel, go to the toggle editing tool as well, click. Now to bring out add polygon feature, then we'll click, then we'll try and locate the polygon feature that we have here, which is building. Let's start by vectorizing this building. Click at the edges of the building to create the vector from that building. Then we'll right click once again to bring out the attributes that we've created for the building. So the owner, say, so for area of the building, 450. So click OK. Now we've created for this building. So let's choose another one. Right now we've created shapefile for building, and we have stored geometric location of building we can identify on the satellite imagery. When we're done, click save and take it out of editing mode. So next thing is to go to the road feature that we created and go to the start edit, toggle editing to start editing. Now it's going to display add line feature here, and we'll click to add to vectorize our line feature. So we go to the satellite imagery to identify a line feature, which is road. Here we have a road, so we can start from the center of the road, digitize and vectorize. Click from the beginning. Ensure you drop node at the junction. You can identify important to drop node at every junction. So here we've done that. So right click once again. You can see the attributes that we've created already. The road name, the length, 50. So say OK. Now we have done creating shapefile for points, polygon, and line feature, which we are representing as tree, building, and road. So when we're done, we save, go out of editing mode. So now, by the time we open the attribute for tree, from attribute table, now we can see that that's already stored the attributes of that tree, which are named and for each field. Other things you can do with your Shapefile is to carry out GIS operations and other spatial analysis. So if you want to do that, you can go to a vector on the bar here. Click vector, you see a lot of things that you can do. Here you see Polygon divider, which is a plugin that's been installed. As we go on in this tutorial, be familiar with how to install plugins of your choice. So see Polygon divider in geoprocessing tool, you can carry out buffer operation, clip, and so much more, and to derive meaningful information from your spatial feature. So you have geometry tool, can determine centroid, can do a lot of things which are here. Now we have come to the end of this video. Kindly subscribe, click the notification button, as well add your comments so that I will keep providing you impactful videos that will be helpful in GIS projects. Thank you.